Oh, the garbage chute was a really wonderful idea. What an incredible smell you've discovered. Let's get out of here. Get away from there. Welcome back, everyone. Here we are with issue 98. We are getting close. Ooh. Let's go ahead and see what we got going on in this issue. We're going to talk about the heavy freighter, the Arava, and I believe this is from The Force Awakens. Yep, Han Solo's ship. And then we're going to go into the Russian mystery of the Midrim. And here are our next parts. Let's just have a quick look. So we're putting some more parts on the back end. Yep, got more of those. Ooh, we're going to be putting on the fuel drive pressure. Sorry, gotta change my glasses here so I can see what I'm doing. The fuel drive pressure stabilizers. That's these little wings that pop up on the end there. We're putting those on. And here it talks about how to choose your mounting options. And then we're going to assemble the legs. And it looks like we're going to be doing all 5 legs. So we'll be able to pull in all the legs. So that's what we'll be doing in issue 98. I think what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to break this up. And we're going to start off with doing these parts, try to finish up the back end. We'll see how close that gets us, whether or not that gets us to a stage where we can do the base paint and all that kind of stuff. I really want to get to that point, get that painted and whatnot, and then we can get the detail painting, because as you can see, it has some detail painting, of which we're going to paint over the top of, and then we have to come back and paint it again. So that's going to take some effort, and I want to get that part taken care of, because I know there's some plant-on details, particularly the little actuators that go on the ends here. If you recall from the lower half, there's these actuators that go on here. They look like snow blades, for lack of a better term, and they go on here, and I need to have those painted separately and then attached to here. So we will need to get this painted up and whatnot first. So let's pick out our pieces here. And we also get these pieces, and these are going to go up front. So I'll have to look to see what kind of detail pieces go onto here, whether or not we can paint these ahead of time. This doesn't talk about putting those on yet, so there's that. We can put these off to the side because we won't need those. Won't need that. We just have all of these pieces. So these ones, there's 2 different halves. So here are the 2 halves, and the nice thing is I don't really have to do much for cleaning these other than wash them, get all the oils and stuff off of them. So these are the 2 halves, and then they just go together like this. Oh, look, there is a little bit of stuff I got to clean off there. So we'll get those cleaned off, and so that way we can get those put together. So we can set these, we're going to put these in here. Oh, I do have some cleaning to do. So hold on that. Let's go ahead and get these things removed. This looks like was probably like a 30 cal machine gun from World War II. Very interesting. Potentially it could be a 50 cal, but I know 30 cals look like that. All right, so we got those all cut out. Let's get them cleaned up, and we can go from there. All right, gonna go wash these, and then once they're dry, we'll get them all put on. See you guys after a bit. We have everything back. Let's go ahead and start. We'll get these kind of shuffled off of there. There we go. Nice and gentle like. Hopefully they're all there. I always get really nervous when I have little pieces like this or like this. I'm really nervous after I wash them and like one of them goes down the sink. So far, I've only lost one piece, and that was on the arches and the corridors. One of those cushions went down the drain. Luckily, I had all the parts from my brother's set, and I was able to pull one of those cushions off of his, so that way I wasn't cushionless, so to speak. But out of all these parts, just this is going to be a rough estimate. Um, Out of all these parts, we have. Give me 1 second here. Oops. We have glued to this point over 1,000 pieces on. Okay. And that's counting all the magnets and everything else, of course, and all the other things that I've added. But 1,000 pieces out of 1,000 pieces, over 1,000 now, because this hasn't been updated for probably 3 or 4 episodes now. Over 1,000 pieces, and I've only lost one piece, so that's pretty cool. All right, starting my last bottle here, whatever canister, if you will, of micro brushes. 102 in each one of these canisters. And so I've done 306 out of here, plus another 10 or something like that from just a random pack that I had. So, a lot of micro brushes I've gone through, some of them painting, a lot of them gluing. Yeah. So, these little parts here that I was worried about losing, that's what we're starting with. Heck of a way to start. Should be 2 of them. There we go. We got both of them. All right. Well, let's get going. So these are definitely different. All these other parts are the same, but these are definitely different. So it's so weird too that the way they're going in, they're not all the parts are symmetrical as far as how they're getting put in there. So because they're different, so this part is going to go on the bottom. So this longer part goes on the bottom on this side, and then so it's pointing the same direction. Now you would think when I put this one in, it would go the opposite direction, but no, it goes the same direction. So instead of being on the bottom on this other side, it's on the top. So several pieces like that, very confusing. All right, there's that. We'll double check some of these, make sure they're not stuck or whatever, but now we can go to gluing these. Like I said, these are going to be pretty straightforward. We have two different halves. We're just going to put the four of them together. I definitely want to get more added to these two in the middle because um, they're on a seam, and so it doesn't quite fit as well. I'll just put a little bit extra on these ones on the outside as well. Not that I have much glue left, just enough to kind of ensure that they stay there. All right, so double check all the parts. Most of the stuff was right in this area, but you can see all these additional holes that we have. I imagine there's going to be kind of one of these pieces in the middle or something like that, and then some other parts through here. Obviously, we have all of the actuators that go along through here. But that means that we're not done with this yet, so I'll have to hold off on painting it until we get the rest of the parts to put in, which, I mean, this is issue 98, so it'll have to be the next issue because issue 100, I can tell you, not a lot in there, pretty much nothing. Yeah, so that's everything for this episode, I should say. In the next episode, we'll go ahead and do the landing legs. So that should be interesting. We have a total of 5 landing legs to do. And so it basically, we have assembling the single legs. We have the single legs, which there are 3 of them. It tells you there's parts for 2 legs that are provided in issue 95. And then another came in issue 96. And then when we come over here, assembling the double legs, parts for one of the double legs was in issue 97, and the second is provided with this issue. So we'll be able to do those legs. That's what they're going to look like when we're done. We may spruce them up a little bit. We'll see. I need to look at some images, but for some reason I vaguely remember seeing some hoses and lines and stuff like that. So if there is, we'll get those added as well. But I want to thank you all for watching, and may the force be with you always.